Hello and welcome to the Year of Shame Challenge 2 podcast, episode 5. I'm your host Adam Ducker, and today I am joined as always by the King of Ireland, Colm Sheridan.
Good evening.
And hello, and Justin.
Oh, what a letdown on my intro there. You get the King of Ireland and Justin.
Oh, give me a chance. I'm not finished. Oh,
okay,
let's go again.
No, that works. Let's run with it.
Oh, I had a good one for you.
Come on, give it to him.
Go on, redeem yourself. Come on, okay. Redeem yourself.
Okay. And Justin, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong on this one. I got this off Wikipedia. You're down as the Supreme Overlord of the United Federation Alliance of Hockey-Playing Nations.
Okay.
Is that correct?
We can go with that.
There we go, then. This is the Year of Shame. And we're going to go straight on to what have we been playing. And Colm, let's go with you first. What have you been playing?
Finished Call of Duty Ghosts. I got a lend of it off a friend. And I have friends who lend me.
Yeah.
I had a PSN or I had an iOS credit, so I bought Walking Dead Season 2 Episode 1.
Just episode 1, not the season pass?
No, I didn't have enough money for the season pass.
Okay, fair enough.
Finally.
Still good?
Yeah, it was a bit laggy at times, but, I enjoyed it, yeah. And
cool.
Finally finished Deus Ex.
Woo!
Yes.
Did you change your mind on it by the end of it?
I actually did. I went to the startup screen again to see was there a Play Plus jobby on it, but there wasn't. So
yeah.
So you came round full circle and wanted to start up again.
Yeah, I even had a gaming session with my son where we were in here one day and we each took turns. So I got to enjoy it. Yeah, so I was happy.
And what did you think of the ending?
Spoilers. There's different endings.
Yeah, without spoilers.
Well,
what did you think of the choices? Did you like the fact you had to choose?
Yeah. It wasn't a case that I wanted to replay it again, but in that regard. But I thought it was very much, like, did you ever watch them Steven Seagal movies back in the 80s? And, at the end of it, he's going, what a wonderful world we're going to live in, but you have to protect the seals and all this stuff. Well, That's the way I felt when I watched the ending of that.
Fair enough.
But as a game goes, it definitely started off as a hate, then admiration, and then love at the end. So,
well, you might be interested to hear if you didn't know that the Game Burst podcast, their replay game of the month, their show will be out very, very shortly in the next couple of days. Will be them playing through Deus Ex again.
Cool. Listen to that.
And in fact, I think some of them will have been playing the Wii U version as well.
Yeah.
Was it the enhanced edition or something like that?
Yeah. And I finished Rage as well.
Oh, okay.
Loved that.
Really? How did you find the ending on that game?
Funny you should say that because
was it a massive letdown?
Yeah, but even more so, I'm a real sucker for watching credits.
Yeah.
And just at the end, it just froze. It just froze. I just went blank screen and it froze, and I went, "What the hell? This is not happening." And so, yeah, but it was finished because I got the achievement for finishing it. So.
But basically, Adam, what happens is you go on this like tower siege. So you start at the bottom and you fight your way up to the top, and it's all getting more and more, building up more and more tension, and you get the impression you're about to have some big, demon end of level boss, and it's essentially press a button.
Yeah. The bosses were because I was expecting like them to be quite difficult. I think the third last boss I found a bit tedious, but other than that, no, they weren't hard at all.
I found it became a bit of just a fetch quest.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. Yeah,
and I couldn't care less for any of the characters I met.
Well, no. Well, I don't know.
Compare it to something like Borderlands, how likable the characters are and how funny they all are.
Yeah,
in Rage, just nothing.
I felt like it was a cross between Borderlands and Fallout 3, but just with none of the endearing characteristics of either of them.
Yeah,
because even Fallout has memorable characters. As depressing as that game is at times, there's still good characters in there.
Yeah. So that was a game it's been ongoing for over a year, I'd say. So after finishing Deus Ex, I thought I'd just go for a run and gunner, so finished that then. And I'm playing, I don't know whether I should mention this now, but I'm playing Fable Anniversary. I got it for Valentine's Day. Special request, actually.
Oh, what a lovely game. You can blow kisses in it and stuff, can't you, from what I remember?
What?
You can blow kisses in Fable, can't you? So it's vaguely Valentine's-y.
Yeah.
I seem to remember you can go up to women and stuff and blow kisses or burp and stuff.
Yeah. My current nickname is Arseface, so there you go. I can't.
Okay.
You might have to bleep that one, sorry. And I got some PSN points as well. So last week, the Great Sale on, and I got The Wolf Among Us season,
the whole set,
season pass for $11.99. So.
And how far are you into that?
I'm just playing the first episode at the moment. So,
what do you think of it?
You know what's really annoying about it? For some reason, I'm getting worse than Justin now. For some reason, the audio keeps bipping out, so they're saying something and it just blanks out. I don't know. It's like a split second or two, just for a very split second. But it's quite funny. Like the pig and the characters in it are very funny.
Have you met the frog yet, or the toad?
Toad, yeah.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
And the pig as well. The pig on the couch,
Yeah. I just played the second episode all the way through, and there's some more good characters in there as well.
Yeah. So it's enjoyable. Yeah. So that's me. That's me finished for this month.
Nice little selection.
Yeah. I think Deus Ex took a lot of my time up this month, so I was getting desperate and just trying to finish a few more games on top of that. So I didn't do too badly.
No, better than me. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So Justin, what have you been playing this month?
Yeah, I've kind of, considering that I feel normally I've played a lot of games, this is probably my quietest month for games beaten. It started off quite promising. Very early in the month, I finished MotorStorm RC, and I played it almost exclusively on the Vita.
Yep.
And I got to the bit where I think I probably only had about 6 races left to go before I'd finished them all. And it gave me a time trial stage that I was struggling like mad and I couldn't do it. And I think the Vita died, so I thought, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll load it up on the PS3 and I'll have a go on trying to do that. And of course it took me sort of 10 minutes to learn how to do the controls, with the fact that instead of using the right thumbstick for everything, it's now on the shoulder buttons.
Oh, okay.
So it felt like I was, relearning the whole game, but at the point where I'm supposed to be advanced on my playthrough.
Yeah. So maybe that bit harder,
so that was a bit challenging. And then I finished the game, and I was like, yes, I finished the game. And I pretty much had all of the trophies, because I'd had that completionist frame of mind of, if I don't win the race, if I come third, that's not finishing the race. I've got to win the race. Because they only take you, 5 minutes at most to do one? Usually they're only about a minute and a half.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, got to win the race. And there's it gave me, 90% of the trophies. And then there's one for finishing a combined race total of everything under 40 minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I looked at my clock, and I think I was about sort of 45 minutes. And I thought, oh, that doesn't sound that hard. And then I realised that all I'm possibly going to be doing is shaving off like 2 seconds here and there.
Off each one, yeah. So, and
I started doing a little bit, and I just thought, it's really not worth bothering.
Yeah.
And then another co-host on this podcast started trying to wind me up about it.
In my defence, that was encouraging you to go ahead.
I started getting messages going, come on, if anyone can do it, you can do it. Come on, I've got faith in you. And yeah, I put it down, I walked away, and then about 2 hours later I might have picked it up and played it solidly when the Vita had recharged until I shaved off enough seconds to get that to 9 minutes and 59 seconds.
Cool.
And then promptly switched it back on the PS3, let the sync catch up with each other, and suddenly I had 2 platinums.
Oh, because it's one of those where you get both sets.
It's one of the few that gives you double trophies. So,
that's cool.
I didn't, I'm not purposefully a trophy whore, but because of that incident where I had to use the PS3, I turned it on and they just started popping in the corner even before I'd gone into the game. And I thought, well, what's going on here? Is it just telling me I've got them? And I looked on the trophy list and it was like, no, you actually have them twice. So I finished that really early on.
Yeah.
That then put me onto the marathon that was Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah.
Now,
indeed.
I don't know why I decided that it might be a good idea to finally play this game. And I'd like to think that at some point in the 56 hours I spent playing it, that it got better.
You'd like to think, though. So that means
it didn't get any better.
In all honest truth, it didn't, man.
In all honest truth, it stopped being the tutorial around the 32-hour mark. And that's the point at which it was essentially 32 hours of push up.
Okay, yeah.
More cutscenes than a Metal Gear Solid game, and essentially it's a giant story. And like any Final Fantasy game, it's wildly unbelievable.
Yeah.
But you kind of get where they're going at the end, and if I was to play Final Fantasy 13-2, at least I would understand how the world has been set up now. From what I know, it's a completely different stylized game, and certainly Lightning Returns is, because that's just a slasher, like hack and slash. So I played the demo at Eurogamer, but yeah, I'm not getting those hours back, and I can't say I really enjoyed it. There were moments of, well, thank God that's over. But to begin with, I was able to just, do like a story chapter per night. And then when it got to the ones that started taking 3-4 hours to finish, I started thinking, it's beginning to drag on a bit.
Yeah.
And then it gets to suddenly become open world, and if you try and keep to the linear story path, you're massively under-leveled to take on the fights you need to. So you have to go round wasting your time finding random fights. So, yeah. If you're a real serious hardcore Final Fantasy fan, you might enjoy it. If you've got a mild interest in Final Fantasy, you won't.
No. Well, then that's me. It's not for me.
No. So, I did say last month that I would play Final Fantasy, and then when I finished that and when I finished BioShock, I would select my next game. So now that Final Fantasy's been finished, I do have to finish BioShock. I managed to play like a bit of another level. I got up to the first Big Daddy, and I nearly killed him, but he decided to kill me, and that meant that I put the game off and didn't really feel like going back to it again. So I've actually been playing Persona 4 Arena.
Oh, okay. So this is the one you got with your stick, yeah?
This is the one I got with my arcade stick.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I'm actually really enjoying playing it with the stick.
Yeah.
If you go through the tutorial side of it, it actually it sets the buttons up so that basically you have a square of buttons, and you have like a light punch, hard punch, light persona ability, and heavy persona ability. So it does it in a square, and the button combinations that you press is either like the left 2 or the right 2 or, 3 in a triangle or something like that. And it feels a lot more normal to do multiple button presses when it's on a joystick than it would do to try and use your thumb to cover sort of 3 of the 4 buttons on your D-pad. So it's if you go through the main story arc, what that does is it starts off with 4 of the main characters from Persona 4, and you basically pick one of the characters and play their story. So it's always told from like a first-person narrative. And it gets so far, and then it goes, okay, to be continued. And then, obviously, you have to go pick another character and go through their storyline. And it all kind of ties up. And I've finished the 4 first characters you get, and then it unlocks 3 of the characters from Persona 3 and a further 3 characters from Persona 4.
Okay. So it has quite a few then.
Yeah, so there's 10 story arcs you can go through. And I remember hearing when it first came out, people were saying, oh, I've played this for an hour and a half and I've not actually done anything yet. It's like any Persona game, there's a lot of story to it. And, it harks back to the Persona 4 Golden or Persona 4, depending on which one you're looking at. And sort of, says, oh yeah, last year I used to be part of the investigation team and we were investigating this series of murders, and everything's happening again. So why are we all being brought back together? And each person has their own point of view on why it's happening.
Okay.
And I could tell you from what I've gathered what actually is happening, but that's probably the massive spoiler that you don't really pick up until about the 3rd or 4th playthrough.
Okay, but, let's keep that one a mystery.
I'm not going to reveal any more than that. But it's stupid fast. It's really colourful, and some of the characters that I've played through with so far feel really underpowered, whereas other ones feel a lot easier. But the funniest or most satisfying thing you've got, if you play any fighting game like Street Fighter or King of Fighters, anything like that. If you're playing against someone who's considerably better than you, you pretty much get your backside handed to you on a plate.
Yeah.
But this has... each character has a move that if they're in sort of the last 20% of their health, they go into what they call like an awakened state. And it puts them into a position where they can suddenly do an instant kill move.
Okay.
So if you're getting your really, really caned,
you can just pull that out, yeah.
You can, if you time it well and you connect with the move, you can completely turn the battle on its head and have an instant win.
All right.
And some would say it's a really cheap move,
yeah.
but you obviously have to be in a position to pull it off. And it's it's not the easiest thing to do, particularly if you've got an aggressive person just laying into you relentlessly. But it is satisfying when you're trying to fight the AI, and they give you a moment to think to yourself, and you suddenly just pull out the move, and it cuts to a little animation where your character all gears up and then just completely pounds them to death.
Cool. Sounds a bit cheap, if you ask me. I'm going to be honest, it does sound cheap.
What it means, though, in terms of you playing the game, is if you're playing, like me playing Street Fighter, for example, if I'm fighting a character that clearly is unbalanced to what I'm fighting, what I'm playing, you get to about 50% of your health and you just think, oh, just hurry up and kill me so I can start again. Whereas on this, you kind of almost think, just hurry up and hit me a little bit more so I can then kill you.
Yeah. Yeah,
so it does kind of make you evolve your tactics as you go through the round.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm enjoying that, and
cool.
That's kind of the main thing I'm playing with at the moment.
Nice.
What about yourself, sir?
Well, I finished off shortly after the recording last time. I finished off Red Dead Undead Nightmare, which we already talked a little bit about.
And what did you think about the music as you go to the last round?
Amazing. It's so cool. Yeah.
You have your own little theme tune, don't you?
Yeah, it's really cool. I like that game. I think if it was any longer, it might outstay its welcome a little bit, just because it is so familiar to the original game. So the length's about right, because it's a lot shorter.
Essentially, it's DLC, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's DLC that was so popular they released it as a standalone disc.
Yeah, that's how I played it on the disc, actually. It was a present a few years back. So I enjoyed that. We talked about it last month, so I won't linger on it too much. The day it came out, I played The Wolf Among Us Episode 2. Really enjoyed that. Really enjoying the universe. Actually thinking of maybe reading the comics, but I think I'm going to wait till afterwards. Because at the moment, there's murders and all sorts going on in it, and I kind of wonder if I read the comic, I'm going to know which characters survive. Whereas now playing the game, I don't know if all these characters are in the comic, so there's that suspense.
Yeah.
I don't want to remove that suspense by reading the comic and like turning the first page and it's like, oh, all these characters are here. Because I don't know which characters are just like, there's obviously some characters that have been killed off already that were just made for the comics, just made for the game. So I'd like to leave it that way and not have the suspense wrecked. And then ongoing, so my game that the Twitter followers of our Twitter feed voted for was Batman Arkham Origins. I've not had a whole lot of time to play it. My game timer says I'm 20% of the way through it. I'm going to say, as much as I love being Batman, I don't think we needed this game, to be perfectly honest. I think we could have waited until the next gen and Rocksteady, whatever they're doing. It seems really weird. They must have just pushed it out to pay the bills, I guess. Lots of reused assets. Really weirdly paced as well, because the idea is that Batman, there's all these assassins out to kill Batman, and he basically meets every single villain that's known in the comics in the space of one night for the first time. And it's just really weirdly paced. Like, it's just like, bang, 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 here's character after character that you're meeting, and then it's like, right, slow down, you've got to do this dumb mission now.
Except that you haven't yet met Dr. Freeze because he's in the DLC.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
That was the DLC that got announced yesterday.
Well, I'm not going to buy that. No money. But yeah. So it's just really weirdly paced, and there's some things I feel like they could, like, in this, like, Commissioner Gordon has only just become the commissioner, so he's not friendly with Batman yet. And it's like they could have explored all that so much more. Like, there's a really cool mission where you're breaking into the police station to get some equipment, and it's like, why don't we spend more time doing this rather than it just being a never-ending procession of me meeting villain after villain. Some really poorly executed boss battles. Like I've never thought the boss battles have been the strongest point of the Arkham series, to be perfectly honest. And it just seems like they're not spread out enough. Like I did two fairly soon after each other on the last time I was playing. One of which is a major character, one not so major, but still somewhat off about it. I'm still going to play through it all. But yeah, I don't think we needed it. I guess Warner Brothers just wanted to push it out so they had something to say to shareholders like, here, we sold this many Batman games on last-gen consoles. This is good for more money for the next-gen version or something. I don't know. So like I said, didn't have so much time with the TV free to play Batman. So I started playing The Witcher because I had my laptop free and I was like, I'm going to have to start one of these long games sometime. I can't keep putting it off. I've got enough of them. So just how, I don't know, Justin, you soldiered through your Final Fantasy, through whatever. The Witcher's kind of like that for me. I enjoy it. It's like my jam. I like more Western RPGs. But it is bogged down with a lot of stuff and it's really slow going. And already I'm telling, like, this is going to be 40 hours. I'm never going to get back. But now I'm in. I have got sucked up into the story, I'll admit. Because it's quite different, actually. It's weird. So it's a bit like Dragon Age story. But then it's translated from Polish. So I'm not quite sure how the translations have worked. But it has things like the characters you play, the Witchers, are genetically modified. That's how they describe it. But you're in this fantasy world. And it's kind of at odds with... Like you're running around and there's all mystical animals and then people are going, well, you're genetically modified. Just kind of at odds with each other. Weird. So I'm enjoying that. I'm about 10 hours in maybe, so not far. And then the last thing I've been playing is The Binding of Isaac, which I don't know if either of you have heard of.
Yeah. I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a top-down roguelike where you play this little boy that's been shoved into a basement. He shoots with his tears, and you go through a procession of fiendishly weird levels, killing people and picking up weird items that do stuff like one of the weapons is your mother's bra, which you pop on your head and stuff, and you wear lipstick and all sorts of weird stuff.
We're talking about the game or your normal weekend?
No. Damn it. Both. So, it's a good game. I still haven't managed to finish it. I've got to the last floor twice now and died both times. It's kind of one of those games that can screw you over because the item placement's completely random. Sometimes you can get to the bottom levels and have absolutely no hope of finishing it because you're just not powerful enough. I'm sure there's people that can, but that's beyond my skill level. So I started playing this because Patrick Klepek on Giant Bomb's doing like daily streaming, so it's been kind of cool to be a part of that, playing it at the same time and trying to finish it and keep up with him. And that is all I've played. It's been a slow month, as I said on Last Save Loaded last week. I think it was really busy at work. It's kind of cut into my gaming time quite a lot. So that is everything.
Can I ask you, of the 3 Batman games, which one is your favourite?
I'd say Asylum.
Yeah.
I enjoyed its more intimate surroundings. It's really weird. That's another thing that's weird about Origins. You spend so much time flying around an empty city, and coming off the back of GTA 5 and Dead Rising, it just feels like there's just nothing happening. Because I can't even, like, the conceit in Arkham City is that they've cut off that part of the city to be a prison. Arkham Origins, it's like they told everyone to evacuate on Christmas Eve because there's lots of villains knocking about.
Yeah.
And it's just really like conceit. It's just like, okay. So I hope for the next one, I'm hoping they do a proper Batman in a proper city and like you can swoop in and save like people and all sorts. So that's my dream.
Is Rocksteady going to do the next one, do you know?
There's been rumours they are. I mean, I know that Kevin Conroy guy that does the voice tweeted by mistake that he's working on the recording for the next Batman game, which everyone assumed is a Rocksteady game. But it's not been confirmed, so we could be wrong. It could be this, whatever they're called, Warner Brothers Montreal, I think, made it. So it could be them. We don't know yet. And with that, we will move on to what have you picked up. So, Colm, you already alluded to some things that you picked up.
Yeah. Fable Anniversary.
Yep.
Got that for Valentine's Day. And I got €25 PSN for Valentine's Day as well. So I did rather well on the Valentine's Day front.
Cool.
Although, you know, it did cost me a lot more.
Yeah.
For the actual Valentine's Day. So, but anyway.
What did you get her? Let's hear then. Come on.
No, this is a gaming program, not an intimate lingerie program. Okay, so
no, just gave the ghost away.
Just the usual hair vouchers and whatever else, you know.
Oh yeah,
that she likes, you know. So keep it sweet. I had dropped a hint about 2 weeks beforehand about Fable Anniversary, so, and she said, and the funny thing is, they didn't actually have it on the shelves over here for some reason.
Okay.
It wasn't like, you know, in GameStop where they usually have the latest releases. They didn't seem to have it. And so she got it the week beforehand. I think it came out the week beforehand. And she was saying that she was lucky because the fella in GameStop said they didn't actually get that many copies in. And that, you know, I would have thought it would have been a lot more copies available.
I guess maybe lost gen, they don't know what to do, really.
Yeah. So I'm currently playing that, so I'm enjoying that.
Did you play it originally on the old Xbox?
It was probably the only one, because I played Fable 2 and 3, it was probably the only one that I didn't actually play.
Okay.
I had it on PC as well. I never got around to finishing it, so.
Okay, cool.
With the added achievements and you know, new shiny graphics, but a lot of people are giving out about it that they, you know, that it's still laggy a bit, and it was crashing. It only crashed to me once now, but they've since done updates for that. So
yeah,
so,
cool.
Yeah. So that's what I picked up.
Okay,
Justin.
Okay, well, PS Plus is not out till next week, so I've actually I'm another 4 games quieter than I would normally be saying at this point. as you know, I did have a little bit of money from my my PSN card, which may have dropped into my basket at the shops last time round.
Just slipped in, that's fine.
Yeah, so Hotline Miami had to be picked up when it was about £2.
Oh, wow, was it that cheap?
It was something silly like that, and
oh my god!
Obviously, I picked up the PS3 version, so I got the cross-buy and got the Vita as well.
Vita, yeah.
And I knew Tearaway was going to be coming in the end of February sale, and sure enough, it did. And I think Colin was a little bit upset, weren't you?
€2 worth of upset, yes.
Now, I wasn't quite so upset, but it did finish off all my pennies in my account. So I now have pretty much nothing. Well, I have nothing worth investing in, anything short of, like, I don't know, maybe I might have like a hat or something from a game.
Or one of those new avatar icons you can get.
That's it, yeah. So Hotline Tearaway, and a friend on Twitter, Jamie Maxwell, otherwise known as @UnlikelyMelody, was very kind to send me a copy of Dark Souls, knowing that I'd finished Demon's Souls.
Oh,
and that has arrived, nice, and Prepare to Die edition of as it needs to be. Because obviously Dark Souls 2 is imminent.
On its way, yeah.
And I won't be playing that, but people had been saying, so you're going to play Dark Souls before now that you finished Demon's Souls, and I said, well, I can't get it because of Year of Shame rules, and he went, well, we can't be having that now, can we?
So he gave it to me.
Yeah. And you were asking me if I was going to consider playing it as my next game of the month. I have just had a bit of a quiet look through the options that were put forward for my suggestions last month, and you guys need to have a quick vote between yourselves, because it looks like it's a tie between Metal Gear Solid HD on the Vita and Mafia 2.
Ooh. Oh, I'd go for Mafia 2. The Vita. I know you. Was it yourself that was saying?
I couldn't stand the controls on the Vita.
Well, then I won't put you through any pain, man. Mafia 2 all the way. It's correct. It's actually a good game.
And knowing that you've struggled with the controls on Peace Walker on the Vita.
That's what I was going to say, actually, yeah. I feel the same way, so I'll go with Mafia 2 as well.
So that means when I finish dabbling with Persona, when I play through Bioshock, I will be going for Mafia 2 for my next game. And maybe I might have a go at digging into Dark Souls after that.
Well, let me know, because I have Dark Souls and it did come second in my vote, so I'd happily play along so we can both talk about it together.
Well, you were encouraging me. Of course, it'll be March now, so this should be my next Assassin's Creed month.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That is very true.
Well,
which one are we up to now? Brotherhood
next. And from what I understand, Brotherhood is one of the longer ones.
Yeah, does drag a bit.
But if I could stomach 56 hours of a Final Fantasy game, then
it's still going to be nothing compared to that.
Yeah, because that was monotony. But anyway, that was all I picked up. Next month will be another matter, because I'll have a digital version of Tomb Raider to go with the physical version that I've got right next to me. Not at all bitter about that. And what did I pick up in the sale last month? Oh, that'll be Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm bitter about that too, because I picked that up too. But,
and of course, that's coming free. So,
it's a real case of don't bother Barney buying any games on PSN, because at some stage, the game, or if you do buy, a handful of games, there's bound to be one or two that come up on PSN.
Well, the thing is, what I've noticed about Sony, just quickly talking about this, what I have noticed is most of the games that go free on Plus are in the sale the previous month.
Yeah, that's where it's really a bit shady.
Like Tomb Raider.
Really.
Tomb Raider was in, I think it was in the January sale.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And the only reason I didn't pick it up because I didn't have the funding. But if I might have considered it if I didn't have the physical copy.
Yeah. I mean, the game for me that I'm surprised hasn't come out on PSN Plus is Dishonored. I'm surprised that hasn't come out on PSN Plus.
I thought you would have said PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, because nothing screams PS Plus than that.
Yeah, I suppose. That will come out at some stage, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I would have thought so, especially since there's a lot of DLC for it, so they could still make money on it from people that want to pick up every last character and stage and stuff.
Well, it'll be E3 in May, won't it? And that'll be when they'll change the year-long titles.
Mix them up,
so if you've got a Vita and you haven't downloaded Uncharted, now's the time to do it.
Yeah. Well, I planned that.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. What have you picked up, Adam?
Okay. I'm going to discuss, so you may have seen in the show notes, guys, I wrote big capital letters that this is the month I went mental.
Yeah, how so?
Well, many ways, really. So let's start with the stuff that I got for free with no money. So Bundle Stars were giving away PID, which is some platforming game, from what I can understand. I did tweet that out, and I think a few other people picked it up as well. Dungeon Keeper, Justin, that we complained and threw in gaming hell, was the original version was given away on GOG for free.
I didn't put this in my what have you picked up because I do own the game, but yes, I did also invest in getting the code for a free copy from GOG.
That's very nice. It's not something I perhaps intend to play during this year because I've already played and finished it back in the day from what I can remember. But it's nice to finally have it back and not have to find a disc. The third thing I got for free even was the Titanfall beta, however you want to say it.
Speak English, not American.
I know, that's why I had to correct myself. I realised what I'd done.
No, you can speak in your adoptive country's tongue.
No way. So I got that and played over that for the weekend. I talked about it a little bit on Last Save Loaded again. Really fun. Definitely something I might consider dipping into the PayPal fund for. We'll see when it comes out in like 2 weeks. And now there's a list of stuff that I paid money for.
Paid money. How did you pay money? Is this PayPal funding, or is it PayPal? I dipped into my pocket and paid raw hard cash?
No, this is PayPal money still. So for the record, my PayPal fund is now down to 114.71 after all these purchases.
From 180.
188.07 it was on, yeah.
Okay.
So, I've just realised I've missed one out, so let me just add that.
Do you know what I reckon he's going to do, Colm? I reckon he's going to use some of that money to buy himself the exclusive Titanfall controller for the Xbox One.
No.
Yeah.
No, it looks weird. Anyway, so I picked up Two Brothers, which was going for $1 on some bundle thing. And the reason I picked this up is because it was just after I'd finished Into the Moon. We talked about last month. Or to the Moon, sorry, not Into the Moon, To the Moon. And it kind of sounds the same. It's about somebody dying or something and you're traipsing through their memories. But the cool thing is, it looks like an old Game Boy game.
Right.
So that really interested me. That only cost $1. But what did come with that was 2 other codes for a game called Laxius Force and Millennium New Hope that I have no interest in playing. They're both RPGs, look like they've been made with RPG Maker. So if anyone wants them, give me a shout and I will send them the codes. The next thing I bought is a game called Spud's Quest, which went for, let me check the price, $1.55.
Please tell me you control a potato.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Yes, get in.
Classic.
Do you remember the old Dizzy game?
Oh, totally, yeah.
It's basically Dizzy with a slightly Metroid slant, and you're a blue potato with legs and hands walking
So what
around.
You're saying is Codemasters are going to sue somebody?
Maybe. So yeah, it's only just come out. It's been going for $5, and it's one I've been thinking, maybe I'll dip into the money and get that. And I was like, no, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get it. And I saw it for $1.55 on like Indie Game Stand, I think it was. And then I was like, right, I'll get it. So I bought that. The Witcher 2, just after I started the first Witcher, it happened to go on sale on Steam for $3.99, so I was like, what the hell, I'm going to buy it. Then, whilst I was on Steam, I saw SteamWorld Dig was on sale for half price, $4.99, so I picked that up as well. And then the rather hefty purchase I decided to get was Assassin's Creed 4 on the Xbox One. And the reason I decided to pick this up is because...
You want to be a pirate.
I want to be a pirate, but also my local indie game store was selling it. So after tax and everything, it's normally $67.79. And I was like, I can't buy it. There's no way I can fiddle this. So, because it was $50 instead of 67, and so we're at the store knowing it's on sale, and I was like, there's absolutely no way I can fiddle this. Like, this guy doesn't accept PayPal to pay for stuff, even though it's an indie store. But then my friend emailed me their newsletter, and I remembered the fact that they're called videogamesplus.ca, and they have a website, and thank the Lord.
I know Video Games Plus. I've bought many a thing from them over the years.
Yeah, because I imported my copy of Animal Crossing way back from them. So it turns out the shop's just round the corner from here.
I bought my PSP from them.
There you go then. Well, I've been to
3 months before they went on sale in Europe.
Sure.
Well, I've been to that shop now, so wherever you imported that from, I've been to that store. Surprisingly, a really small store. They must have made a lot of internet trade. So anyway, then I suddenly remembered, I was like, I have an account with these guys. So I had an email that my friend also got and highlighted me to the fact that Assassin's Creed 4 was also on sale on their website, and praise the Lord, they accept PayPal. So I was like, right, no messing about, I'm going to get Assassin's Creed 4, and I got it. Okay. So that's all pretty simple. That all came out of the PayPal fund. I have remorse. Bearing in mind, I'm not even halfway through The Witcher and I've already got the second one.
Yeah.
I was just like, I've done something stupid here. Assassin's Creed 4 is probably pretty long. From what I can tell, Two Brothers might be quite long. So, yeah. Then we have the incident of the Monaco Code. So I think just so.
This could be breaking news.
So we're going to tell the whole story from the start. Uncle Fister from Midlife Gamer, Darren, that does the Midlife Gamer podcast, tweeted out saying he had a spare Monaco code because he bought the Humble Bundle and was like, does anyone want it? I think it was Justin Knowles that said, the guys over at YoS Shame might want it. And
I'll just interrupt you there. The reason that was happening, why he said that, is because earlier in the month, Justin Knowles had put a tweet out saying, I've got a code for Dead Pixels on Steam. Yep. Would anyone like it? And I sent him a message pretty much straight away saying, well, if you don't, if you're not in any rush to give it to anyone particular, why don't we give it away as a competition prize this month?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, sure, bang, there's the code. So we have to give away this month a code for Dead Pixels on Steam. And as a result, because of me showing interest to you, the listeners, he then said to other people, well, if you're giving away codes, why don't you give it to YoS Shame so that they can give it away?
Yeah.
And as you say, carry on.
So I sent a tweet and said, yeah, we'll take it. And he was like, okay, follow me. He sent me the direct message. And I was just sat there looking at the link thinking, I could click this, press the little button, and it'll be in my Steam account as quick as you can say, it's done. So I tweeted you two, and neither of you were biting. But then Colm sent me one saying, if you really need it, you can have it. So I was like, right, I'm having it. So I clicked on it.
Yeah, and I noticed that, and I was like, it's on your conscience if you do.
So, unfortunately, later that night, finished downloading, my conscience hit. So I went, dipped into the PayPal fund, and I have purchased the Humble Bundle 11 to give away as a competition, so somebody can have all of the games, not just Monaco.
That cost
me.
That cost you dearly.
Yeah, £4.66, I think that was. Yep. So that came out of my account. because the guilt got the better of me. I was like, yeah.
So what I would think we should do is have, if you want to do a competition specifically for the Humble Bundle, because obviously last month I did the competition for the Agent 47 figurine.
Yep.
So if you do the competition for Humble Bundle and the code for Dead Pixels, we can do this one of two ways. We can either read out the code and the first person to cash it in claims it, or we can go for some sort of like Twitter or email, the first person to actually show interest can have it. What do you think I should do? Do you think I should just read it out and whoever gets it, gets it?
Just read it out. Go on. It's more fun that way.
Well, hold on, I have to get a pen. Hold on, I have to get a pen.
When he says get a pen, what he means is open his Steam library.
If we never hear who wins it, we know that Colm's got it. Okay,
go on for it.
I've got my fingers poised on the number pad.
The code is L for Lima, V for Victor, K for Kilo, M for Mike. Y for Yankee, L for Lima, J for Juliet, L for Lima, and the number 4. Number 6, V for Victor, number 7, T for Tango, and B for Bravo.
Awesome.
Great.
So good luck with that, and whoever cashes it in, would you please let us know so that, so we can send on your thanks to Justin Knowles.
Thanks very much, Justin.
Cool. And for the Humble Bundle, we'll go the other way. We'll say that's to the first person that tweets us. I tell you what, because the Humble Bundle comes with such a lovely range of games, we'll say the first person that tweets us their craziest game idea will win a copy of Guacamelee, Elysium Dust, whatever it's called, Monaco, the Swapper. There's all sorts in there. You're getting about 8 games.
They get the soundtracks with these as well, don't they?
Everything, yeah. So whoever it is, send us a tweet at YoS Challenge to your craziest game idea,
and then we'll send you out the Kickstarter link later.
Yeah. So. I feel better now. I got that off my chest. For feeling guilty all week. Okay, and with that, we are going to go on to stuff we have been missing. So, Colm, we already heard about something you were missing. Do you want to tell us quite how much you're missing it?
Emotionally, about 2 Xanax and 2 bottles of whiskey.
Not bad.
No, I should have listened to Justin because he did tweet. He did say that I hear Tearaway is coming out next week in the PlayStation Store, and me with my €25. I said, "Oh, I could wait for that now." I reckon, I think it was selling for €20 on the PlayStation Store at the time before the sale. So I said, "Oh, that could go down to about £12, probably 15, but take another £2 off for the old PlayStation Plus." So I said, sure, I'll go for the old Wolf Among Us, $11.99 for the season pass. Great, that's a good bargain anyway,
Yeah.
I said, that's grand. So last Wednesday I go, oh, grand, I'll download Tearaway now. €15. I only had $13.75. It wasn't even €2. I think it was 15 something anyway. And here I was, I was gutted now, I was. So, but anyway, I haven't dipped into my card or anything like that, Visa card. I still have my €13 credit left on the PlayStation Store. So, I'm sorry, lads, but I'm getting some next gen pangs this month. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm just, oh God, the old PS4 is looking very enticing.
So what in particular has made that? Because there's not been any new games come out quite yet, really.
Infamous is coming out, so it's terrible. And I was looking on Twitter then as well, like GameStop or Game were doing very good trade-in deals as well for. I think the trade-in deals were for Xbox One, but I've no real desire to get an Xbox One at this time. So.
No.
Well, I said earlier, it's nice to see that there's quite a few people that are now discounting the Xbox One down to under £400, and it does make me hopeful that by the end of the year of shame, my funding for the PS4 may be in a better position, and the PS4 might have come down in price. But I am still prospectively looking at new mobile phone contracts just in case one of them does one of these buy this and have a free console with it. Because I currently pay about £25 a month, and most of these ones with free consoles are about £35-40 a month. Nice. So I'm kind of thinking, can I arguably just invest £20 a month in a console? And then I have to look at how much more money that is. That 2-year contract, £20 a month, you're essentially paying them £500.
Yeah.
So I'm better off saving the £20 a month now.
Yeah.
Putting it away,
Yeah.
Save some money.
And contracts are usually over 2 or 3 years as well, aren't they?
Yeah, the ones I've looked at are all 48-month ones. But then the contract I'm on at the moment is a 2-year contract, but it's up in November.
All right.
Well, I'll go next because I know Adam was going to. No, for me, obviously I did pick up Tearaway, but I had to really, really ask myself a question because I obviously only had a tiny amount in my wallet left, and it was going to come down to either Tearaway or XCOM Enemy Within. Now, obviously, I just played through Enemy Unknown the other month, and I loved that game.
Yeah.
So when I could see that Enemy Within was going for £10, I was so tempted to go down the shop and, find another voucher falling into my basket.
You've got very slippery hands there, man.
but I did not do it. I wasn't going to let you down, and I decided no. If I'm lucky, someone might go, hey, it's your birthday in June. Let's get you that, and maybe get me the physical version or something like that nearer the time, because I'm sure that in the shops that'll get reduced by then as well.
Yeah, it's a different a different type of game than the other game that you were playing, isn't it? Than the other XCOM.
Well, Enemy. Well, from what I gathered, because I did put some tweets out at the time, and I did sort of say, look, I can only really choose one. What do people think of Enemy Within? And most people have said it is pretty much the same sort of game, but it's a bit harder and a bit more challenging because of this, that, and the other.
All right.
Now, I think what you're possibly thinking it is I think they call it the Bureau XCOM.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and that's the other game that came out. So Enemy Within has got the same sort of pack art as Enemy Unknown, but it's like a different colour.
Right.
So it's kind of brown instead of blue.
That's the same type of game then. What is the difference? Is that more DLC or something?
Well, at the end of Enemy Unknown, you basically start, well, for want of a better phrase, you develop Jedis. So you start developing your telekinesis and telepathy and stuff like that. And I believe that Enemy Within, you kind of start out with people that have already got that psychic ability.
So it's like a sequel then, is it?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. It's an expansion essentially,
okay.
But it is a standalone as well.
All right, cool.
So Adam,
the one thing
you've been missing something, and I'm interested to have this discussion with you.
Okay. So the thing I've considered also spending PayPal money on was The Last of Us DLC.
This is the Left Behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been getting great reviews and stuff, a lot of buzz going around it, how it's possibly one of the best story-based DLCs before. It meaningfully adds stuff to the story.
And it's going to be the only story DLC they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because all the rest of the stuff with the season pass is multiplayer maps, apparently. Yeah. So I've considered it, but thought whatever price it is, I think it's $15. It's a bit steep to be dropping my money on it straight off. So I decided I was going to wait until it goes cheaper. But Justin, you have a question about whether I should indeed be missing this or not, or whether I should just go buy it.
Well, my question is, do you class DLC as a new game. And I don't mean this in terms of arguably Undead Nightmare was DLC for Red Dead Redemption. Because that clearly, and the same with Enemy Within, they're clearly standalone games that are sold like that. But February sale at the moment has all the Mass Effect, Mass Effect 3 DLC. So you've got, I bought the Citadel DLC when it came out, but I didn't buy Leviathan and Omega.
Okay.
And the From Ashes one that came with the collector's edition. Now they're all on offer at the moment.
Okay.
And I would really like to play through that game again with
everything bolted on,
with the other character that a lot of people play through with him in your party.
I did,
and he does say a lot of lines that that obviously I've missed out on that interaction.
Yeah, it adds context to a lot of the situations you find yourself in, a lot of the locations you go to. Yeah.
And so I'm on one hand I'm thinking, but I'm not buying a new game if I invest in that. But on the other hand, I'm thinking, but I'm spending money on a game I've already got for something I don't really need.
Yeah.
So where do we lie with this? Do we consider DLC or story campaign DLC to be an outright purchase that I shouldn't be doing on the challenge, or do we consider that it's just adding more content to what you've already got? It's the equivalent of buying more songs for Rock Band. It's the equivalent of buying multiplayer maps on Call of Duty.
I don't know. I'd never considered it, because when I was thinking about getting Last of Us, I was like running the numbers and putting it through my PayPal fund, thinking, well, if I get it, that means I've got this much left, blah, blah. So I don't know. I thought it was cut and dry, and that you're still paying money for gaming content is the way I was thinking about it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, Adam. If you're dropping the money, it's not relevant. It's part of a game. It's a game. DLC to me is still, a game.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying, even though it's unlikely to go on sale again.
Yeah, I know. That's why I feel bad saying it.
Even though it's unlikely to go on sale again, but then by the same token, you've got no guarantee Tearaway will go on sale again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see.
And that is what missing stuff is.
Yeah, that's what I've suffered this month, so we all have to suffer together.
I'm not sure. I feel bad saying that because
I might have to ask someone to buy me an early birthday present and get me some more credit.
Well, why don't we throw it out to the listeners and go on Twitter and ask them?
Because the sale will be over imminently.
Put it out there now and see if we get an answer before we finish recording.
Didn't we say at the start of this year that did we agree that we would have like one luxurious purchase over the year?
Well, everyone else had their jokers. My joker is that I have PS Plus, so I do have incoming content.
Yeah, fair enough. And I mean, Mass Effect 3 was part of PS Plus anyway, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I mean, I actually have the trilogy box set anyway, but yeah, it did come free. Yeah, that was at one point. I ended up with 3 copies of it because I had the original purchase, that was the reversible sleeve. Then I bought the trilogy box so that I could have Mass Effect 1 because that was the only way you could buy a physical copy of it. And then they gave it to us free on Plus.
Yeah. And have you played all 3? Yeah.
Oh yeah, finished them all.
Yeah.
See, I platinumed 2. I should have platinumed 3, but for some reason it decided that. Because I set the difficulty onto insanity level just as I was starting the second mission rather than just as I was finishing the first mission, I played through the entire game and it didn't give me the award.
That's brutal.
So there you go. So if I had Javek in my team, that's his name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then I'd have reason to play through the campaign again.
Oh, so now you're trying to... I don't know. I don't... Even though we've both said... we think it counts as buying games, I don't feel comfortable enough saying no to you. I mean, I have to talk to you every week on Last Save Loaded, and I can't have you having a grudge against me.
I won't hold a grudge. I've got plenty on the pile.
Yeah, I'd feel much more comfortable if Twitter agrees with us, then fine. If they don't, then go and buy it, by all means.
Okay. Well, the tweet's going out now.
I mean, you don't have you know, you didn't have to bring this up, Justin. You could have just let it slide and secretly got the DLC yourself. I mean, you're very honest. You're very honest, you know.
Yeah. Having said that, if Twitter says yes, I'm going straight and downloading the rest of this DLC. And I might get the Bioshock Infinite DLC whilst I'm there.
Yeah, I have to download it. I have downloaded the Bioshock Infinite, but I haven't actually played it.
Anyway, whilst we wait for Twitter to answer, we will go on to thoughts and feelings. So, Colm, what have you been thinking this month?
Thinking about, God, I'd love a PS4, but my other thought is, I just don't seem to have any extra money so far, but I have to pay for extra bills and stuff, so
yeah.
life is getting in the way.
Yeah.
But no, I'm still happy enough.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel like I haven't got any money, but I guess that's because I am vigorously saving. Like, I'm saving more money than I was spending on games easily. Yeah. Or putting more money into other things and stuff, like buying the rings and what have you has been something that's got done this month.
Yeah.
So, like, that's money that I would never have dumped that much money on games, so I have actually got less money than I used to have. Yeah. So, yeah. I get what you mean. I understand. I'm kind of... my thoughts and feelings will go on to me whilst I'm rambling. So I kind of...
whilst you're having thoughts.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling a bit about the whole thing. I think that's why I kind of bought all those games. Like, The Witcher 2 was circumstantial, and I didn't even think twice about getting SteamWorld Dig. I was just like, yeah, okay, do it, done. And, yeah.
Do you know what that means, though? That means you're in danger of falling out of the mindset of your challenge, because
I already thought that.
Because you've got, well, as far as Steam sale goes, you've got equivalent of about 50 games available to you at that price.
Yeah. So that's part of the reason. Like, I don't mind that I bought Assassin's Creed, because I kind of want to dump all this PayPal money out and be done with it, and then get back into the mentality. So I don't know. I might buy some other, like, more expensive games just to be rid of it, or just try and forget that I have it, or something. I don't know. But yeah.
That is exactly the way I would think too if I had that money. I love buying, I just love to buy stuff, you know, I love that. I don't know what it is, but just, you know, that's the way I was up till this year, you know, but that's the way I actually used to think as well. Oh God, I've got £100, you know, run in and buy something, you know.
So all this week I've been thinking of getting Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare.
Oh, really?
And because it looks kind of fun. I watched the Giant Bomb quick look and it looks okay. But then I'm
would you be an Xbox One for that?
Yeah. But then I'm just like, I don't really want it.
Don't do much.
It, man. But now one of my friends has just bought it, and I'm like, maybe I'll help. But I'm not gonna. No. But I still might do something. I might just buy an Xbox One voucher from somewhere that takes PayPal, get it shipped out to me, and then that credit's on there and it's done with.
Well, something. you're going to obviously go for the Titanfall when it comes out.
Thought so. Probably.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's the next big game.
So then that's the thing. To be fair, if I did get that, let's just do some math. If I did do that, I'm only going to have $46 left. So it's not like I'm going to be able to buy another big game.
Well, Justin only needs about tenner to get his Mass Effect DLC. So, you know, share the love.
I think to buy it all, there's 2 sets at $3.99 each, and there's one at $5.99. So, yeah.
£12.
Fair enough, maybe. Who knows? Let's see what Twitter says. Okay, anyway, that's my rambling over. Justin, have you got any thoughts and feelings?
Yeah, I was just thinking, actually, and I can't remember how to articulate this best. Here we are. Personally, if you have the points, you'll be fine. Then again, I did my YoS a totally unique way. Well, yeah, that's Terry. You did your YoS by failing.
And Darren said if you had PayPal credit from selling games, DLC is fine. Hard cash, no.
Oh, Justin, it's not looking good.
Right, well then my thoughts and feelings.
Everyone's conspiring against me.
Yeah. Mantis Matt says, whoa, great question. I don't want to be the one to answer it though.
My thoughts and feelings were previously that I was really enjoying the support of the community.
Now they're turning on you.
However, the feedback I'm getting from the Twitter question appears to be not going in my favour. Having said that, I'm going to take this opportunity to acknowledge the torment that our friend Mr. Welsh Benno is going through. Because he, at the start of the month, well, quite early in the month, he pretty much said, was the effect of like, I'm thinking about getting a new PC. What should I invest in? And I jumped on it and I was going, you don't want to be doing that. And he was going, no, but my PC's, it's a couple of years old. I was like, yeah, but that's the problem, isn't it? You'll buy a new PC and then you'll go, oh, look, Steam sale.
Yeah. As somebody that was there like the month before we started this.
Yeah. And
my Steam collection went from 60 to 100 and something. It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Colm, wouldn't you to begin with, you were trying to sort of steer him on the right track, and then you realise, oh yeah, year of shame. No, don't do it.
Yeah. I was trying to be nice to him, but then Justin came along and says, no, you're doing the year of shame. You can't do that. So I went, yeah, you can't do that. So that's why they're coming back to haunt you now. Just
yeah, and he has actually, he hasn't tweeted a response to the big question we're asking here, but he has said that he's appreciating the fact that he would have buckled by now if we weren't, watching each other's backs.
Yeah.
Because, like, I could have, like Adam said, I could have just gone ahead and downloaded that DLC. I could have not told you. And I could have gone, oh yeah, I've had that for a long time. But then that's kind of defeating the whole object of the show.
That's like how I said, like, I have my PayPal fund.
Well, it's defeating the
People
whole
can go
object,
on my sheet. People can go on my sheet, and it's transparency, isn't it? Like, I've done all the math on there for people to look at. We kind of trust each other to do the same thing with situations like that.
Yeah, well, I don't have DLC additions on mine. But generally speaking, I go from the frame of mind of if I got the DLC with the game, like if I buy a premium edition of a game or something like that, and it comes with the DLC, then Mass Effect 2 is a perfect example. The PS3 copy came with all the DLC.
With it all, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Apart from Arrival. But anyway, I didn't know any different playing through it because it's all incorporated into the game. And I could have just gone, oh, well, I've bought a game that I could have had on Steam, and I've got a version that's come with all the DLC, so arguably I've played that too. Yeah, my thoughts and feelings at the end of the day is it's always been, as long as we've been doing this podcast, the support that we're getting from the listeners and the community is immense, and now we're feeling even more love than we did, 3, 4, 5 months ago. So
some of us is.
Yeah, sorry?
Some of us are, but you're not at the moment, just from the Twitter feed you're getting back.
I'm feeling the love. I'm just not feeling the support at the moment. The fact that people are responding, and jumping in on what is essentially a live tweet question as we record, it's just showing that people are actively giving a damn about what we're doing. And we could have just, a couple of years ago, I was worried that I was eating too much chocolate, and I got to Christmas and I just went, you know what, I'm not going to eat chocolate next year. And I went a whole year without eating chocolate. And people would just saying to me, you're crazy, why are you doing that? I'm like, to see if I can.
Yeah.
And that's the mentality I'm trying to get myself in and try and stay in. And, I'd love to be able to just go off and buy Dark Souls 2 or something like that. But I'm just going to stick to what I've set out. The games that I've got coming in will keep me refreshed. And so, sure enough, there's going to be some months where, like next month, I've already got the games that are coming in. But by the same token, I've had months where I haven't even had a chance to dust off the previous months.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah.
That's very true.
So considering I'm at the midpoint, I've done a quick check here, and in terms of my physical games that I've completed, it's a total of 5, which doesn't sound big, but you think that the majority of my pile was digital. Of those, I've completed 17 games on digital, and I've abandoned 3 games because I consider them to be unfinishable, like endless runners and that sort of thing. So
Payday and stuff
in 5 months, that's 25 games, and one of them was a month's worth on its own.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Well, you've played a lot of the long games, like Persona. That was quite a long game.
Yeah, but I started Persona. I started Persona halfway through last year.
Yeah, but still, Final Fantasy. 50 hours,
Yeah, I must admit there was a few 2 a.m. bedtimes, and if I'm honest, there was a couple of 3 a.m.s as well. But you try and I'm almost trying to force myself to finish games quickly, in order that I can work on to the next one.
That's what I'm like. Yeah.
And that's exactly the way I feel as well.
It's not proving a chore, but it's almost proving an obligation. Like I've always said that I will finish a game if I start it, unless I know it's unplayable or unwinnable. But the games that it is a challenge to get through, like Colm, you were saying, starting off Deus Ex, you were finding it hard work to begin with. You stuck at it, you got through it, and it wasn't a problem by the end of it. And I think with the games that I know are tedious, I can see the end in sight, and I start almost trying to play it more because I'm almost clutching at that finish line thinking, I've got to get there. And I find that I'm investing so much time in a game that time passes, like you're having fun. And it's not necessarily that I am having fun, but just because I'm so focused on achieving that end goal. And then I do have moments where I finish a game and then I think, well, what do I want to do now?
Yeah.
And I guess that's why I've not locked in finishing BioShock. But
you seem to be hesitating about BioShock and Assassin's Creed for some reason.
Well, I was all set to play Assassin's Creed Brotherhood last month, but I did say what games I'll play through. So I'm going to say now, March will be BioShock, I'll finish Persona, and then I'll be on Mafia 2, which I understand is also going to be a fairly long game.
It's an enjoyable game.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I'm hoping that. And then from there, I will start BioShock and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and I suspect I will be playing that at the end of the month when we do next month's show.
Yeah, can I just mention that I was I won't say told off by just
you were spotted.
I was spotted. Yes, that's the word I'd like to use. I only stuck in the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood disc, played it for about 10 minutes, and I got a message from Justin saying, "Here, what are you doing starting Assassin's Creed before me?" That was the message, more or less.
It pretty much was. It was like, are you trying to get the jump on me by playing that game?
I actually turned off the PS4 3 straight away because I was going, oh God, I'm not getting on the bad side of him, man. And I haven't played it since. So will you please hurry up and play Assassin's Creed so I can start?
Yeah, well, I should have a little bit more free time. This was the other thing that I was going to say. You guys have mentioned about you should be having the perception that you've got more cash in your pocket because you're not spending money on games, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, this month and last month are the 2 months that we don't pay our council tax. Because if you're on direct debit, the last 2 months of the financial year, you pay it over 10 months, and then the last 2 months you get free. And so, in theory, I've got an extra £100 in my pocket each month. No, that's fine. That's all going into my savings. But then at work yesterday, I've been training some new staff because we need some on our team, And my manager called me in for a review on one of these people I've been training. And as I was sat in the office with him, he scribbled something on a bit of paper and kind of slid it across the desk, and it had some numbers on there. And he said, as of March, that's for you. And basically, I've had a bit of a pay rise. And it should work out that the pay in March will be the same as what I've been getting now without paying this council tax.
Mm-hmm.
So for argument's sake, I'll be £100 a month better off.
Yep.
Now, I have two options at this point. Ignoring the year of shame, I have the option. I have the option of, do I spend money just on anything in general, or do I invest it all? Do I put it in a PS4 or an Xbox One saving fund, or a Wii U, whatever? And then when I get to the end of Year of Shame, go, yeah, I finished it, let's go and buy myself a new console. Or do I, just exceed my living a little bit more and, start buying the Tesco Finest rather than the Tesco Basics?
You've got some dilemmas this month, I'll tell you that.
So I've been quite happy, just because of the fact that I know my life's going to get a little bit easier going forward. Yeah. And I've got to discipline myself that I don't start thinking I've got more money to buy on games.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So the fact that that it's happened while I'm not actively buying games should help me integrate that into my lifestyle without being flamboyant. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's come at a good time in that respect. I guess.
Sorry, I kind of hogged the microphone for quite a while there.
No, it's okay. I started rambling too. We've all had our moments tonight.
Some more than others.
So, guys, without further ado, we are going to go on to listener mail. And I'm going to start off with our good friend, Dodgy123, otherwise known as Matt. He is back, and he has got some stories for us. So, first up, he says, great show this month. Sorry I couldn't get in touch, but end of year tax madness made it difficult. But that little delay in writing has made my story more interesting. In January, I traded in an old PS2 and around 20 Wii and PlayStation games for a PS Vita. This added 30 PS Plus games to my collection.
Ooh!
So I'm now 10 up. So a bad start to YoS for 2014. So I'm guessing when he says 10 up, he means he's finished 20 and he's now 10 games back up again, I think, is what he means.
Yeah, well, I hate to think how many games I got added in due to PS Plus.
Yep. I lent my sister some money, not unusual after Christmas, and was told they would sell the PS4 after all my effort getting it. Everything was fine until my nephew had been on a Skype call with them and said, have you seen Uncle Matt's new arcade machine? Of course, I had no idea that my money was being spent on that. Do I let them know I've heard about it or just keep quiet and let them pay me back? As a part owner of an arcade machine, this has done little for my YoS cred. So he lent them some money and then they went and bought an arcade machine with it. Which sounds, I don't know.
Sweet.
Yeah, good for them. They've got the balls to borrow money off you. And then he has chipped in on our competition for the Agent 47, and he says, I've got 2 death scenarios for you. Being crushed by an arcade cabinet.
Topical, right?
A nice big 4-player one like The Simpsons or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So they were those big old machines that had like a screen for each person and a seat and everything. Or having your mouth glued to the collection shot of a 2p machine until they are full of 2p's and a novelty key rings. Hope you have a great month. So, that was his first email. So that's kicked us off with a couple of entries for the Agent 47 challenge. He also wrote back to us later and said, hope you've had a good month. I've had another where I've hardly played anything. Only about 75% of the Black Ops campaign. This rate, I'll be able to stretch my pile of shame out for 2 years. I joked about being crushed with a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles machine before, and found out that it is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles my brother-in-law bought, and unsurprisingly, the board lasted a week before it had to be sent off for repair. I'll be pointing him in the direction of Giant Bomb, where for years they've talked about problems with arcade machines. Happy gaming and good luck keeping away from the releases of Titanfall and Dark Souls 2. So I guess the moral of the story is don't borrow money off your brother-in-law and then buy a knackered arcade machine.
That's it.
I guess that's what we've learned there, guys. Entertaining as always from Dodgy123. I can't wait to hear what he gets up to next month. So, we've already alluded to the fact that we have entries for the Agent 47 challenge. Justin, unfortunately, you can't read one of them out because it's somewhat violent towards you personally. So I don't know what you did to friend of the show, Justin Knowles, but he wants to see your demise.
I think it might be because I started getting a bit... Well, I actually got some abuse because I was a bit eager with the tweets that I started sending out on behalf of the show. I think we released the show and then probably within a day or two I started going, don't you want to win this thing? Start sending us emails.
Yeah.
And he's known me long enough that he knows that would have been me writing it. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Carry on.
So... I'm going to read his email, and we'll start with your death.
Right.
So, hi guys. I hereby submit not 1, but 5 ways to commit the perfect murder. So he's gone 1 up from Dodgy123. He had 2. Justin's given us 5. Scenario 1 is how I would actually do it, but I thought I would provide the other 4 for my amusement. Scenario 1. If I wanted to pull off the perfect murder, I would make it look like an accident. Shorted electrical wire, hairdryer in the bathtub, that kind of thing. Would have to be customised for the target, of course. Let's take Mr. J. Smith, for example. He doesn't seem like a bath kind of guy, more like a shower.
Right.
So hairdryer in the bathtub is out. But he does like his cups of tea, which is quite funny because just before we started, you tweeted that you had to go and get another cup of tea. And Justin is spot on.
When he sent that email, I was reading a cup of tea while I read it, and which I managed to spill all over the floor on account of me spewing it.
So we've established you like tea. So his method for killing you would be some subtle tampering in the wiring of the kettle, and we have an accidental death by electrocution. So that's you out. Dead.
Right.
Classic.
Scenario 2, Cluedo. Kill a man with the surname Green in the toilets of the local library with a wrench. The police and media will be so busy looking at the Cluedo reference of Mr. Green in a library and the wrench, they will not conduct a proper investigation.
Brilliant.
Scenario 3. Everyone knows the police force and legal system can't cope with the supernatural, so by using black magic, your kill will be untraceable. Options include voodoo, hex bags, demonic pacts, and entropy curses. Whew, yeah. He has put a lot of work into this.
He's really thought this one through, hasn't he, these two?
Scenario 4. Time travel. What better way to commit the perfect murder by making sure the person never existed? Go back in time and stop their parents from meeting, and your target is wiped from existence.
Sounds familiar.
Scenario 5. Video games. Not subtle, but distraction is the key. By snapping multiple copies of Duke Nukem Forever and attaching the pieces, sharp edges sticking out, to a baseball bat, you can beat and slash your victim to death and leave the weapon on the scene. The media will whip up into a frenzy over violent video game triggering murderous rampages, so even if they do get caught, you have the legal defense of video games made me do it. It will literally let you get away with murder.
Oh, brilliant.
So I have to say thank you so much, Justin Knowles. That was a joy to read. They were fantastic.
Yeah.
Not to undo that, though, we do have other entries that we still need to consider.
Okay. I'll dive in now that I'm allowed to actually look at some again.
There's no mention of your name in these ones.
Okay. So, Fury AC3, Stuart Cullen, who was one of the first people. In fact, he was the first person to email in. Hello, gents. Disclaimer: in no way, shape, or form am I mental. Just feeling raw, and you and you would ask the question. Okay. So, my perfect kill. It's a hard one. But in light of recent events, I would have to say the target is an Xbox customer service member. After the pain I went through to get my Xbox One sent away for repair after having it only 2 weeks. And that's 2 weeks from the launch. Let's just say I was an angry bunny that day after having to deal with three of Xbox's finest Middle Eastern elite customer service members. Now, fair play, he's actually phrased that quite politically correct without being racist.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So down to the killer question. How would I dispatch of the target? Well, first I would dig a hole about 9 to 10 feet deep and line it with the 430 plus odd 360 game discs I have, sticking them in the ground facing up. Basically, it's a tiger trap, but with games instead of bamboo rods. Then, above the pit, I would ring up a net with the 9 360s I had die on me in my time. So we have a pit and a large weight hanging above said pit. So now it's the killing time. So as said Xbox customer service member leaves the office, bang, in the pit he falls, unsteadily being impaled by the discs. As he tried to stand the rigged net of dead consoles, falls through the air, freeing its doomed contents, and, well, let's just say that what happens next is sore in the extreme. As the bloody mess moves just a little, and the task is almost over, but for the final blow comes for the dead Xbox One over 3.5 tons of fun fall in the pit and ends the job. Revenge has been dealt, and that, gents, is my perfect kill.
Well, there is going to be a Middle Eastern elite customer service member coming to a very untimely demise soon.
Yes.
Well done, Stuart.
Right, Colm, you've got one from our friend Kevin, haven't you?
Yeah, Kevin, Drunken Rogue, 68. The perfect killing. This is seriously messed up now, lads. I don't know. Insert 100 straws up the victim's bum.
Right.
Fill body with petrol until it starts to show in their eyes. Don't know how it starts to show in their eyes. Oh yes, Tom and Jerry style. Remove straws. Insert rag. Light and then throw body at more victims. Kaboom. He's been playing Dead Rising too much. Only works if the victim is... Oh, I don't know. Only works if the victim is a Russian guy called Molotov.
Right, so he's a human Molotov cocktail. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So there are entries, guys. We need to come to some conclusion as for a winner. So just to sum up them all, we had Matt killing possibly his brother-in-law via the use of arcade machines. We had Justin Knowles with his library's worth of killing methods.
In the library with this, that, and the other. Oh, just quickly, speaking about Justin Knowles, he has also responded to the Twitter question.
Go on then, quickly.
And it doesn't really help. He's just said, depends on your personal rules. I could only use credit that I had when I started my year of shame. So I guess I'm not buying this DLC.
God damn it. Okay.
Unless someone buys me a cut. Guys, do you want to buy me a birthday present? Carry on.
I've €13 PSN, but I've just left €13.
Right. So as you were.
And then we have Stuart Cullens, which of course was aimed at everyone's favourite Middle Eastern elite customer service member, using every Microsoft product under the sun. And then we have Drunken Rogue's lovely cartoon-esque human Molotov. So, guys, who do you think should win the coveted Agent 47 statue?
If I'm honest, I'm not actually so keen on Justin Knowles trying to kill me. Having said that, the fact that he's very, very cleverly picked up on my love of tea, does show, specific interest in your intended victim, and research that gets extra points. I know certainly if it was a hit,
I can't believe you're encouraging him.
All I'm saying is if you're playing Hitman, part of the way in which you pull off a noticeable kill is by watching the pathing of the characters and working out what they do, so that you can fiddle with their environment and they then cause their own demise. So from that point of view, specifics with regards to the tea, that's fine. Unfortunately, when I'm at work, I don't use a kettle. We have a tea machine. So the tea, by shorting out the fuse, what you'd actually do is you'd be killing all the people having their cup of soups and their pot noodles. And quite frankly, some of those people I don't like. So I'm actually not going to go for that. What I personally, my personal vote is going for Stuart Cullen, due to the immense anguish he has had with Microsoft, and his dedication to obviously keeping up with that brand despite the multiple failures he's had. Now, I was actually talking to him back a few weeks ago when his Xbox One died, and obviously he was quite upset at the time. And I did say to him then, I was like, whilst I might joke about the Xbox 360 failure rate, I certainly did not see it come in for the Xbox One. And and in fact, if anything, the PS4 has been more public for its failure with the HDMI issues. So I felt he was very, very hard done by, and I knew how much he was looking forward to that console. So for it to go wrong so quickly, I actually feel that his intended target is worthy and just, and the manner in which he's been creative, showing how much investment he's given Microsoft, I think that's worthy of my vote.
Okay, Colm, where do you stand?
Well, I'm tending to go with Justin, because he's the only bloke I know that has more games than I have. 430 plus odd 360 games. I mean, I thought I was bad with 100 and 200 total games. He's got 400. Where does he stash the bloody things?
This isn't a pile of shame, though. This is games that he's just collected over the years.
Still, it's mental. I'm drawn between him and Drunken Rogue only because of the sick, sadistic way. It's probably the shortest entry, but it's probably the most sickest. And that man needs help, man. I know he's getting married in May, but he needs help before that. So, but I think because poor El Stewart has suffered the most, and it's possibly to do with guilt as well, I'm feeling, because on the Midlife Gamer forums, they're doing 1 to 100 games.
Yeah.
You have to name. I snuck in ahead of him with Driver 76, to which he replied as, "Damn you, Salim. I was thinking of that game. I was funny, I got in before him." So, yeah, my vote goes to Stuart as well.
Okay.
Well, that's already 2-0 to Stuart. So he's won, but I'd say I would have gone with Drunk Rogue. Just because I liked the Tom and Jerry style eyes thing. I liked it was something so sadistic, yet he still managed to make it sound like a cartoon.
Yeah.
And that says a lot about his mental state, I think.
Yeah.
So I think congratulations.
I think going back to the thoughts and feelings, though, it's still really, really encouraging that people got involved in this. And bearing in mind the fact that I said it can be as simple as you want, or it can be as creative as you want. The people that got creative got really creative. And, all this for what is essentially a 3-inch little figurine. I I can't thank people for writing in enough, and I'm really happy to put my hand in my pocket and pay the postage to Stuart. But I'm actually I'm looking to see if I can do something for Kev and for Justin as well for winning. Well, essentially coming second in our opinions on that. So it's
cool.
I'm glad I did the competition, and I'm glad that my little Agent 47 will be going to a
worthy winner.
To a worthy winner who clearly took some time in thinking of how to win the contest. So thank you very much everyone who entered, and we hoped that people were going to write in stuff that was going to make us laugh, but I don't think any of us had any idea that people would be so sick and twisted.
Yes, now we know the true nature of our listeners.
Yeah, and it's not pretty.
No, it's not pretty.
So congratulations to Stuart. Maybe he'll send us a picture or something when he gets it in the post.
Do you know what, right? Just out of interest, I've just while I've been talking there, I've looked on eBay at how much someone is trying to sell this Agent 47 figurine, and there is one on there at £41.
Jesus.
That's probably what's going to cost to post it.
Well, no. If I'm posting it to Stuart, it's only going to be to Scotland. It'll be less than a £5, but yeah. He was actually down at Eurogamer that year, so he probably saw it himself. He knows what he's getting. He knows what he's getting for. But as I say, thank you very much for everyone that listened in. So to recap, I've given out the code for Justin Noel's kind donation, and Adam, do you want to remind people how they can get in for yours?
The first person that sends us their craziest game idea will get the Humble Bundle 11 code. So whoever tweets that, tweet the YoS Challenge Twitter account and follow us, and then I can send you a direct message with the link to redeem it. And also, there was the other thing I said I'd give away, the copies of Laxius Force and Millennium New Hope. If anyone wants them, let me know. They're not Steam codes, it's just the download links. If anyone wants them, let me know. And with that, I think that's the end of the show, guys. You can follow us as always at YoS Challenge 2 on Twitter. Email us on yoschallenge2@gmail.com. And that's everything, guys. It's been a pleasure as always, and I will see you next month.
Thank you very much. And once again, thanks for everyone for supporting us and keeping us going and being involved as you are.
Yeah, and I just want to a special mention out to Bob, Lord of Doom, who's still kindly playing with me in Borderlands 2 multiplayer. So, thanks again.
All right, bye guys.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.